When I look at the younger generation, I sometimes wonder if they are able to rise to the challenges of life. As of now, this TikTok generation has only shown that they could twerk and have the weirdest lingo. God, I'm old. But to be fair, they are dealing with an ever changing world and parents that, well, we struggled ourselves. So maybe there's hope for them yet. So when I saw a new movie with a mostly teen cast and directed by a 35-year-old and our favorite mom, Claire Dunphy, in it, I decided to watch the trailer and it got me interested. The trailer did a good job in not exposing what the plot was, and boy, was it a heavy topic. So before you watch this film, be warned. It can trigger people, especially those that have lived or experienced such an event. So maybe listen to this fully and then decide if this film is for you. This film deals with a school shooting and how it changes everyone and everything. The movie starts off with introducing us to Veda, a socially awkward high school kid that is a good sister, a good friend, and looks and acts genuinely happy. Veda gets a call from her younger sister Amelia. This causes Veda to ask to go to the restroom so she can be able to talk to her sister that needs advice about her period. This leads Veda to the restroom, where we get introduced to Mia, a popular girl at the school. Then the shooting starts. Veda and Mia go and hide in a bathroom stall. As they are hiding, they hear gunshots getting closer and closer, kids screaming and getting shot. Then Quentin comes into the girls' restroom. He is covered in blood. The shooting is still happening. Then we hear the police arrive and they kill the shooter. This brings these three kids together and develop a sort of a bond and become friends. This often is the case after traumatic events for people to become friends, since these people can relate to the emotional trauma. We mostly follow Veda after the events. She becomes cold and secluded. She reaches out to Mia, and she too is having a tough time dealing with the tragedy. So they become friends and find comfort in each other. After a few days, they reach out to Quentin, and they are supportive towards him since his brother was one of the victims. Veda, in trying to deal with the trauma, dives into drug use, alcoholism, sex, anything to dull the pain, as some do after tragic events. She becomes distant to her old friends and cold to her family, and only feels better around Mia or Quentin. It takes Amelia's, Veda's younger sister, to snap her back into reality. She finally opens up to her therapist and her family that help her deal and process with the pain. So she finally seems to be getting back to herself when she gets a news alert on her phone about a school shooting in Ohio that triggers her and the trauma, and we see her freaking out and roll credits. This film did a great job in letting the kids or actors tell the story. When dealing with a heavy topic, it can be done untastefully, but I think the director did a great job in how she presented this story and brings needed awareness to a problem that needs fixing. This movie uses modern music or music that the younger generation listens to, but it's done perfectly and adds depth and emotion to this film. I was impressed and added to the film instead of distracting you. This movie isn't perfect. There is some pacing issues, and for a movie that's an hour and 35 minutes, that can't happen. The script was very weak, with little dialogue, and that might have been by design, but it creates stalling points. And as a viewer, it just takes you out of the movie. The acting was okay, not the actor's fault, as the weak script didn't allow them for much in the way of dialogue or acting, but they did a good job with what they were given. So for me, this movie gets a B rating. But what did you think about this film? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and like always, that's a wrap.